Hello, welcome to the weekly highlights program on Azərbaycan Televiziya with the major developments of the week. I am your host, İlham Məmmədov. Now first, let's take a brief look at some of the top stories of this week. The Heydər Əliyev Foundation organized the Vagif Poetry Days in Şuşa. President İlham Əliyev and First Lady Mehriban Əliyeva attended the official opening ceremony of the Vagif Poetry Days. President İlham Əliyev and First Lady Mehriban Əliyeva viewed the Qarabağ is a pearl of the Azərbaycani culture and again in the native land Pearls of Qarabağ art exhibitions organized by the Heydər Əliyev Foundation as part of the Vagif Poetry Days. On August 30th, for the first time since the liberation of Şuşa from the occupation, the Heydər Əliyev Foundation organized the Vagif Poetry Days, which have a 39-year history in the poet's hometown. President İlham Əliyev and First Lady Mehriban Əliyeva attended the official opening of the Vagif Poetry Days.
Azərbaycan Respublikasının prezidenti cənab İlham Əliyev.
At the request of President İlham Əliyev, the participants of the event honored the memory of the martyrs who heroically died for their homeland with a minute of silence.
Allah bütün şəhidlərimizə rəhmət eləsin.
Congratulating the audience and the entire Azerbaijani people on a very significant day in the life of our country, the opening of the days of Vagif poetry at the mausoleum of the great Azerbaijani poet, statesman, vizier of the Qarabağ Khanate, Molla Panah Vagif. The head of state noted that the mausoleum of the wordsmiths was subjected to Armenian vandalism like other historical monuments in the occupied territories. Now it has been completely restored and its second opening took place yesterday. President İlham Əliyev spoke about the background of the creation of the mausoleum by the decision of the great leader Heydər Əliyev, which was opened on January 14, 1982. Speaking about the bitter consequences of the occupation of our lands, including Şuşa, which has become a great tragedy for our people, about the destruction of all historical and cultural monuments here, the head of state noted that the city had a symbolic meaning in our history. The loss of Şuşa gave impetus for the loss of other regions. However, the Azerbaijani people did not accept the occupation. The negotiation process for 30 years has not yielded any results. The course of current events, the period of the Second Karabakh War, and the actions of international forces showed that this issue would never have been resolved through negotiations. Recalling his words that if the issue does not find its peaceful solution, then we will restore our territorial integrity by military means, and this right is given to us by the norms and principles of international law, the UN Charter, the resolutions of the UN Security Council, and historical justice. President İlham Əliyev said that we have achieved this. The head of state made an excursion into the history of the founding of Şuşa, the 270th anniversary of which we will solemnly celebrate next year, stressed that despite the occupation and destruction, the city was able to preserve the Azerbaijani spirit. It did not bow down. It was waiting for us. We had to return, and we return as a victorious people, not through negotiations, not due to some possible concessions from Armenia, but by shedding the blood of martyrs on the battlefield, showing courage, restoring territorial integrity and national dignity. Noting that the 44-day patriotic war was our glorious history that will live forever, President İlham Əliyev spoke about the process of restoring of Şuşa, about the large-scale work that has been going on here for several months, including the restoration of the Vagif Mausoleum carried out by the Heydər Əliyev Foundation, about the reconstruction of the infrastructure of the city and historical monuments, about the planned work and stressed that the revival of Şuşa continues at an accelerated pace. The head of state spoke about the historical symbolism of the days of Vagif poetry, about the organization of other events here. Today, we are in Şuşa and will continue to live in Şuşa forever, the head of state said.
Yaşasın Şuşa, yaşasın Qarabağ, yaşasın Azərbaycan.
President İlham Əliyev and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva viewed the Qarabağ is a pearl of Azerbaijani culture and again in the native land. Pearls of Qarabağ art exhibitions organized by the Heydər Əliyev Foundation as part of the Vagif Poetry Days held in Şuşa. Şuşa Art Gallery features Qarabağ is a pearl of Azerbaijani culture exhibition. President İlham Əliyev and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva familiarized themselves with the exhibition as the center of the Azerbaijani art and culture. Qarabağ has an ancient history. The Azerbaijani museums, which were destroyed during the occupation period, featured valuable samples of Azerbaijani history and culture, world-renowned Azerbaijani carpets and belongings of prominent people of Azerbaijan, as well as other exhibits. The destroyed treasuries were not only the samples of Azerbaijani culture, but of the entire world. The samples of art and sculptures take the visitors to the journey, which is both joyous and sad, real and fantastic, open and hidden. The main source of inspiration of the pieces exhibited here is Qarabağ. The historical land of Azerbaijan, Qarabağ, has extensively influenced the worldview of Azerbaijani artists and sculptors from different generations. The exhibition, organized by the Heydər Əliyev Foundation, features works by Böyük Mirzazadə, Toğrul Nərimanbəyev, Maral Rəhmanzadə, Nadir Abdurrahmanov, Mikhail Abdullayev, Ucal Haqverdiyev, Müseyib Əmirov, and other prominent Azerbaijani artists. There are also widely exhibited works dedicated to Qarabağ, the victory in the Patriotic War, carpets, samples of muğam. The exhibition, which displays more than 60 works, also features canvases by folk artists Altay Hacıyev, Məclisi Üns, Səttar Bəhlulzadə's Yuxarı Daşaltı, Richness of Qarabağ by honored artist Inna Kostina, works by Leyla Əliyeva Xarı Bülbül and Qarabağ Horse, Qarabağ Beauty by Orxan Nasibzada and others. In the Gallery of Carpet Weaving, restored and renovated in Şuşa by the Heydər Əliyev Foundation, an exhibition titled Again in the Native Land, Pearls of Qarabağ Art has opened. President İlham Əliyev and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva viewed the exhibition. The exhibition featured fleecy and pileless carpets, carpet products, national embroidery and clothing sets, and examples of metal work art. It also includes carpet samples from the collection of the National Museum of History of Azerbaijan. It should be noted that most of the exhibits on display in their hometown were evacuated from the Şuşa branch of the Azerbaijani National Carpet Museum during the First Qarabağ War. Here one can see samples of Qarabağ carpets associated with different regions, which have been highly valued for centuries and among the rare pearls of foreign museums and private collections. Their carpets was a stamped pattern reflecting the lifestyle of the population engaged in animal husbandry, as well as embodying urban culture. Carpets with floral ornaments and plots woven in professional workshops, Verni, Zili, Çələbi, Ləmpə, Malabəyli, Qasımışağı, Əyyam Məclisi, and others. One of the exhibits of particular interest because of its large size, perfect compositional structure, and bright colors is the Ləmpə carpet. Thus, the exhibition Again in the Native Land, the Pearls of Qarabağ Art, creates an opportunity to feel the spirit of the ancient land, the life and work of people who have lived and worked here for centuries, aesthetic pleasure, artistic worldview of creative personalities, and enables one to travel to those distant historical times. The exhibition titled Memory, Photographic History was also organized. The photo exhibition embodies the ancient history, rich culture, beautiful nature and traditions of Azerbaijan. During the occupation of Azerbaijani territories, Armenia committed acts of vandalism against our cultural heritage and historical and architectural samples, destroying historical and cultural sites, religious centers. The enemy destroyed a number of regions and cities to the core. Visitors are provided with photographs reflecting the atrocities and destructions committed by the Armenians in the regions and cities liberated from the occupation. Also on display are photographs depicting the crimes committed by Armenia against the civilian population during the Patriotic War. On September 3rd, President İlham Əliyev visited Sumqayıt city and inaugurated a number of social and economic facilities.
On September 3rd, President İlham Əliyev arrived in Sumqayıt city. The head of state visited the monument the great leader Heydər Əliyev erected in the city center. President İlham Əliyev took part in the opening of the Azmonbat Limited Liability Company in the Sumqayıt Chemical Industrial Park. The enterprise is the 70th resident of the Sumqayıt Chemical Industrial Park, which launched its activity. Disposal of used lead-acid batteries will be carried out here, as a result of which propylene and high-density polyethylene, lead bullion, lead-active mass and ammonium sulfate solution will be obtained. The enterprise is capable of recycling 30,000 tons of batteries per year. The head of state took part in the opening of the Sumgayit Court Complex. Conceptually new, distinguished by its functionality, modern judicial complex covers 6 courts, including the Sumgayit Courts of Appeals, Administrative, Commercial and Grave Crime Courts, Sumgayit City Court, as well as temporarily Qapalı District Court. President İlham also familiarized himself with the conditions created in the new secondary school number 20 in the city of Sumgayit for 1,100 pupils completed by the Heydar Aliyev Foundation. The educational institution has 42 classrooms, subject classrooms, laboratories, labor and military training groups, a library, assembly and sports halls, and a canteen. The head of state also laid a foundation for another residential complex within the framework of the subsidized housing project. There will be 11 buildings of 9, 12 and 16 floors. A kindergarten for 90 children will also be built on the territory. Then President İlham took part in the opening of a new overpass of pumping station of the Sumgayit power plant built within the framework of the Energy System Rehabilitation Program. The new pumping station, built on a new overpass and supplying the power plant with cooling water, is considered the first experience in the field of thermal power engineering.
President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, congratulated the Azerbaijani athletes who won next gold medals at Tokyo 2020 Summer Paralympic Games. In a post on his Twitter account, the head of state said, "Our Paralympic athletes continue to make us happy. The number of our gold medals at Tokyo 2020 Summer Paralympic Games has reached 14. I sincerely congratulate our gold medalists Lamia Valiyeva and Orhan Aslanov on their convincing victories." First Vice President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Mehriban Aliyeva, congratulated our victorious athletes in Tokyo 2020 Summer Paralympics. The First Vice President shared a post on her Instagram account. The post reads, "Azerbaijan completed its participation in Tokyo 2020 Summer Paralympics. The next gold medals came from Orhan Aslanov and Lamia Valiyeva, who renewed the Paralympics record. I wholeheartedly congratulate all the winners. I thank our athletes. You have worthily represented Azerbaijan. By demonstrating great potential, resolve, purposefulness, you have lived to the expectations of all the fans. We have 14 gold, 1 silver and 4 bronze medals. Thank you for this. I wish every one of you robust health, joy, happiness, new victories and achievements." That was all for the week. Thank you for watching us and stay tuned not to miss the next edition of our program.